Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to tonight's Sim Racing Heat League Race. It is the 15th event of Season 4 for the NSA Pro split, and it is Singapore upon us as we await the qualifying session to begin in a couple of minutes. We have, at the moment, the old layout of the Singapore circuit in front of us. And as I'm gonna demonstrate to you now, you can see by the current layout is differences to its predecessor, and how the track has changed with the recent correction in terms of this layout. If I can find it now, give me a second. There's only the old one. That's great. Oh, I only got the old one. Good start. Sorry. Okay. I'm guessing that we need the new version now. And we will be doing that in 2 minutes time. In a second. And we got this one. Oh, maybe I have it here. Wrong folder. That's in this one, I guess. No. Which one is it? This one. Okay. No, I don't see it. I don't see it. Okay. Let's do this again. That is very much appreciated, Soxon, but I'm just blind. I'm just gonna do it, okay? Just gonna redo it, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to tonight's broadcast of Sim Racing Heat NSA Split Pro for round 15 of 17 for Season 4. It is the Singapore Grand Prix, and as you can see, we currently have the old layout in front of us, and I'm gonna demonstrate to you how it changes compared to its predecessor now, and how the new Singapore layout is upon us for the first time in the F1 2023 game, for the first time ever, obviously in the franchise since its debut last year. We have removed a couple of chicane corners. There was a very big grandstand that was driven under, and the infamous 2009 crash gate, where we had Nelson Piquet Jr. spinning into a corner to allow Fernando Alonso to win a race. It was 08. I'm sorry. It was actually in the first year of this race. So we got a whole new straight, and we have moved to a faster lap time, but the lap numbers for our drivers tonight have stayed the same. We will be looking at the result from last time out. Critical damage won for the 9th time in this championship, as he is close to clinching the world championship tonight. We will come on to that later on. Fellison, who was in second in front of Moksha, Kowalska, and Nocebo, had a very good race. Unfortunately, didn't go to plan for Nico, Supermax, and Engineer, who all retired from the race, and the current standings look like this. And even it's a bit too little to read, I can tell you that Critical Damage needs Andy to win tonight, or the championship will be his after tonight's race. And Ferrari, as we move on to the Constructors' Championship now, have pulled away from Mercedes, and they are not beatable to the Constructor Championship for this season. They have done it, and Critical is now 2 times in a row a champion for Ferrari and a champion for the Constructors Championship. And we will be joined tonight by Fellison, who unfortunately has injured himself. We will be joined tonight by Fellison, who has unfortunately injured himself tonight. But I'm very delighted to have him in the commentary booth tonight. Fellison, how are you doing tonight?
Hi guys, hi everyone. Yeah, not bad. I'd rather be racing, to be fair, but I'm happy to join you here. Looking forward to what the guys can do.
That is indeed something we can look forward tonight. We have 11 racers. We have the usual suspect as of right now. We have Kovetska, and who's just driving out of his pit box. And we have the current championship leader. And as I previously mentioned, Andy needs to win tonight. No other scenario than that, or Critical will be world champion no matter what. And that would be his first, if I'm not mistaken. He will beat Nordic, who has been the previous champion from Season 3. He himself has been the Constructors champion for the last season, and he's on the verge to clinch his first. He has done an impeccable job to achieve that tonight. He has 11 podiums to his name. He has 9 wins, and he has started from pole 5 times, which is quite frankly an outstanding season. And with 2 races to go after this one tonight, we will be still looking if he can achieve more and even beat a record in terms of wins. We also have Supermax, also known as Lambo Owner, who's in the AlphaTauri as usual. He is partnered by Krankjorg, who is still in the pits. Or he's just driving out of the pit lane. As we can see, most of the drivers are out. On track as is Moksha, who has also been on the up in terms of his form. He has achieved 3 podiums in the 6 of his last races he attended, and that's a very good form. He also, as you saw in the introduction, has completed another podium last time in Miami after some penalties. Then we have No Sebo, who also had one of his best races of the season last time out in Miami. He is currently out on the first flyer. We'll be looking into that soon. We have Tsiatko again for the Haas team, who is currently also out on his first flying lap. Gizmokus on an out lap for Red Bull, who is partnered by not Nordic tonight, but Schumi Formula, who is a reserve driver, if I'm not mistaken. And Dokshima, who just unfortunately has left the session, is also a reserve for the Aston Martin team tonight. And the one we will be looking out for tonight the most is obviously the Mercedes with Andy Andre, who is in dangerous need of a victory tonight, and he has only achieved this once in the season. And his consistency and his also 10 podiums compared to his 1 win have secured him the spot to be in this position he is currently. And as he's on track right now in the second sector, we will be having an eye on his time to see how close he is in qualifying pace compared to Critical Damage, and obviously race pace. And being free of mistakes is going to be one of the most important things. And if I'm not mistaken, my friend, we have rain on the track. It is dripping down in Singapore tonight. And Critical just has set the first lap time, and that might be the only time these drivers get to do. What is the answer from Andy? We were looking at his lap time. He has only 4 corners to go. This might be his only shot at qualifying at the front row in the first position as Moksha moves into second. What is the answer of Andy? He moves into second position. He is over a second behind Critical, and that might be his only chance. Let's see how bad the track conditions get in a minute. Absolute disaster for Dokshima and Shumi Formula, who just been presented with a golden opportunity of beating some of these established drivers in this season. Kovac moves just into fourth position on a 31.4, but that is not enough to beat anyone ahead of him, as there is a huge gap already forming between those drivers, and I'm pretty sure they didn't have rain on their plan for tonight.
Well, when you come to Singapore, there is always a high chance of having a wet race or a wet qualifying.
Danke, Zoxer, Missgefixe.
I, for one, I like it when it rains, because maybe, like, if people practice for these races, I doubt many people practice in the rain. So it might just balance it out a little bit.
That is true.
Yeah, Critical is really far ahead of Andy in P2. But we don't know if Andy had a clean lap or what's happening. I don't know if the rain is strong enough to maybe make them move over to the intermediate tires, but I doubt anybody's gonna find any time. Well, Lambo, Supermax P9 should find some more time. That wouldn't have been a good lap. 2 minutes 4.
Yeah, the problem is you can have some long intermediate change or changing weather conditions where the rain is there, but the track condition is not ready for the next tire, which is usually the intermediates, as you have this changing conditions. Supermax now into P8 as he improves by 23 seconds, is into the 1 minute 40, and he is doing a cooldown lap now. I would assume even if the rain is not there at the moment to be on Inters, it still is worse than the conditions we had probably for the first guy who was out on track, and I would assume also
definitely
was one of the first.
It would be pretty impossible to if you give everything in your first lap. The track conditions are never going to improve. They're only going to deteriorate over the next few minutes. So unless it's a short 5-minute rain,
no.
I think this is it for the quali. Everybody stays where they are.
Yeah, Moksha already moved to the Inters in the pits. My personal opinion, it's not that ready yet, but I just think the soft won't improve, and everyone had to get back into the pits because you just can't do a second run on the softs.
Yeah, you can kind of see it on the track now.
Yeah.
You see the rain laying on the track.
Yeah,
there could be a little fight for P8, because I think maybe on Inters you can go faster than 1 minute 40. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's possible. It is not that heavy of a rain right now. Like if Dokshima and Shumi would go out right now, I think they had a chance of beating the 140 and 156.
Let's see. Kovac in the Ferrari came out on probably a used set of softs, but he's staying on the slick tires.
Yeah. There's a yellow flag for Supermax at the moment, as just his teammate.
Yeah, he's invalidated as well.
Yeah, I'm going very slow at the moment. There's not so much action, and I would assume that the rain just continues to drip until
somebody
the end
else
of the
is
session.
coming out, I think.
That's a Red Bull.
Yeah.
Oh, Krangok hit his front wing in the pit lane and just been passed by Supermax on the inside.
The number 1 driver goes in first.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I think that was a bit of a statement from Lambo.
yeah, the track is getting really shitty now in the last sector now. The track overlay on the outside of the corners where the line isn't really there. Yeah, Kovacs is struggling for grip. With 8 minutes to go, my feeling tells me
That's
that
gonna be a
there's...
wing. I think it's gonna cost him a front wing if he's trying to push.
Yeah. He's 2 seconds slower into the detection point of sector 1, and now the tricky bit with the tires needing to work the most just started. And after the removal of turn 16 to 19, the tires really have to do most of the work in the second sector, since the rest is mostly flat out and with a chicane in between. But you can see really how there's little to zero grip. 5.7 seconds slower. And the transition phase into the full inter tire has been completed by now, and you only could improve on a set of those if you fancy it. And we have still no clue if there might
Red Bull's
be...
trying it on the soft again.
And the ash has been disabled officially.
All right, okay. It looks tidy so far from the Red Bull. Missing the apex a little bit. But he's not sliding all over.
Nine seconds faster. And Krankjork
Oh, it is difficult.
And you can see the struggle here from Kismukus. And Krankjork just DNF'd into the wall at the end of the third corner while going out again on the soft tire, and will go on board with his teammate right now. The car has been removed. Yeah, all good.
Oh, as Scrat spins around as well in the second sector.
Oh yeah, you just called him by the name he has in the Discord.
Yeah.
First time when I put down the team names, I was confused who Scrat was, and then realized, oh yeah, that's Kismukus.
Yeah, I think it's easier if we call him Scrat rather than you trying to say his Hungarian name.
Am I doing it that wrong?
No.
Okay.
But I think it's just easier. No,
I think Kismukus is fine for me.
Okay, cool.
But I'm confused why he doesn't... Can't you change the name on PlayStation that easily?
I don't know. I think you need to pay.
Hmm.
I know on Xbox you can change it once because you get a random name in the beginning.
No.
And then you can change it once for free. After that, you have to pay. Is anybody out in Inters?
Yeah. Supermax is approaching the...
Okay.
Oh, and he's deep into the corner and starts reversing out of it. Also, Kovacs is out on the Inter.
Yeah. I think this is just practice for the race, maybe.
Yeah, if there's rain,
I don't know if it's gonna rain. I'm trying to find out.
Has Dokesman rejoined the lobby?
I think so. I sent him an invite, yeah.
Okay.
I think he just didn't bother coming out in the vet.
Yeah, because I still think... I don't know his best, but I think on the Inters, still you can beat a 156. That is doable. Moksha's also out on the Inters now, just exiting the pit lane behind Supermax, who's just started a lap. Kismukus is out as well on the Inters now, trying to improve his time. No Sabo has also joined the runners on track. Supermax nearly collects the outside barrier of 9. And spins and loses his front wing. Let's see if Kovacs gets in a push lap, yeah. Still going at it. Seven and a half seconds slower than his previous fastest lap, which currently sees him in P4, starting from the second row, only beaten by Moksha for a little under 2/10, and he aborts his lap and moves into the pit lane, as Moksha now gives it a go. And Kovatska has decided that is enough, as does Ziato. And Kismukus is on another lap. Can he improve? And if so, does that anything for his position? 7 seconds faster right now as we reach the final minute of this qualifying session. That has been interrupted and cut short by rain. That is now fully onto the track with DRS disabled. And no chance of really improving your fastest time. Apart from maybe Kismukus.
He just went deep. The commentator's curse.
Although that hasn't happened so much for this league from me.
Luckily. It might be my curse. You talk instead of me.
Still 7 seconds up.
It's 7 seconds up.
Blasting down the new straight into the 16-17 chicane. That will become interesting if we have a safety car restart, because at this stage the driver leading the race will be... Oh, and he spins it off the track and hits the wall. He's out of qualifying in P9. And the checkered flag is out now. Moksha retires. And we have completed our qualifying. And Critical takes the pole position.
I'm gonna go have a little break. I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So that is the qualifying for you. That is Critical in front of Andy Andre, putting out a Romanian 1-2, as we have seen in Miami before. Moksha in third, then it's Kovatska, no Sibo, Ziak2 in front of Crank York, then it's Supermax Gizmikos, Doc Shaman, who has no time set, has Shumi, and they will be looking to make a statement in this league as it's their debut. And currently, I don't see rain on my screen. So I would assume the first part at least is dry. And Critical has 6 pole positions now. Stroll Momento. Yeah. Okay. As usual, there will be no formation lab. So as soon as the screen is switching for us, we will be looking at the race start, and Andy will be looking into how to make an improvement up by 1 place, passing Critical maybe on the inside and controlling the race from there. As we await the drivers to set up their race strategies, look at the tires they want to select for the start, and how much fuel they want to be putting in tonight. We had some safety cars in last week's race, where Miami saw us having 2 retirees. Let me check. Nico and Aiden both retired during the race, as Engina was disqualified for not serving a drive-through penalty or just staying on track on lap number 9. And we had 15 runners, but only 12 finished. I wish there was a countdown. You can see that in the Red Bull garage, the softs have changed to a set of mediums. So the softs might be in for play on Schumi Formula's car. Viel mehr geht nicht. Kann nur noch. Das ist jetzt schon fast Maxi-Lautstärke. Ich kann natürlich noch ein bisschen mehr lauter reden, aber es wird gleich noch lauter.
There's less than a minute until the race starts. Hopefully everybody's ready.
I hope so, yeah.
I'm proud of the new guys that the new guy that he hasn't pressed the button yet.
Who's the new guy then?
I don't know. I don't know where he came from. He just joined. Lambo did the test with him yesterday.
But it is Schumi Formula or Doc Sherman?
The Aston Martin.
Doc
I
Sherman.
don't know his name. Yeah. Schumi is his OG.
Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Very OG. He's quite old as well.
Okay.
I think he's about 50.
Ah, okay.
You know, not super old, but
That
getting there.
That explains its race number.
I am pretty sure he fathered one of the AlphaTauri drivers. I think his Lambo's dead.
Okay.
Right, it is time.
Yeah,
I'm not there to push the button. Luckily, everybody's scared.
I'm ready to go, so I hope one of them has pressed already. Don't need more screen time of the pit lane.
Oh, I think we are ready to go.
Yes.
Take us away.
As we go to 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. The lights are out, and away we go. Critical gets a good getaway. There's Moksha already into second, and he has already passed Andy Andre, who didn't want this start to happen in front of him. Now he needs to do more work to get this win he needs tonight. And he's already been passed by Kovacs as well. So the teammate of the Ferrari and current championship leader is also giving him some backup here tonight. He needs to get the work done. He's on the hards. He's showing himself in the mirrors, but he's not going for it as of right now. He has just had a shocking start as Moksha just spun. Moksha just spun. There's some carnage into turn number 9. And there is Supermax spinning at the exit. He has gone deep into the corner and into the runoff area. As it's a Ferrari 1-2 after Moksha spun. And there's already a 2.1 second lead from Critical to Moksha. And now Andy is trying to get back to P2 as Nocebo is leading Krankjorg. One of them is on the hards.
Oh, there is a yellow flag.
Yeah, there is. That is Shumi. He has gone deep in front of the Anderson Bridge.
And so did Andy Andre.
You're right.
He was chasing down the Ferrari, trying to get back P2 and maybe go for a lead. But he messed up, he went deep, and he lost so many positions.
He has no
That's
wing
very
damage.
unfortunate.
There's no wing damage,
For
but
him.
there's a 12-second gap now to the leader.
Oh, look at the Ferrari. They couldn't have dreamed a better race start. It's 1-2. There is quite a big gap between second and third. So if they want, they can just get away together. And that's pretty much... It's all sorted in the constructors.
Tsiak2 is into the pits. He needs a new front wing. He has been involved in some sort of incident. And he has gone to the soft. And there is Shumi who went deep into turn 3. As he's trying to get these hards to work. And Dokshima, the new guy on the block, is trying to chase down Kismukus for P6. But has used a lot of ERS at the moment. He's down to 33% of his battery. And the guy in front
And
of
he's
him...
all over the back of them.
Yeah, and there's a new yellow flag for Supermax, who was critical about the hard tires at the start for Miami, has gone to the soft and does not like them either. And Shumi's off again. Is spin out of turn 9 and there's a front wing missing.
And he lost his wing.
And hits the wall again.
Let's hope that they don't get caught up with Zector.
Yeah.
And DeAndre has made a position. Sorry, Kismokus has lost 2 positions. Both of the drivers behind him have managed to do an overtake. And I think Andy Andre is going into turn 1.
Another yellow flag.
Is he going to make the move? No, he thinks better of it. He stays back. He's probably going to wait until the DRS zone. Stay nice and close to the Aston Martin. Make sure you have a good exit.
Oh!
And he slides. Maybe a bit too eager to put the power down.
Yeah, there's maybe some frustration in his throttle pattern now as he's down in P7 at the moment. And down into the runoff area once again is Schumi Formula. With no wing on the Red Bull, trying to get back to the pits and put a new wing on, repair the damage, and continue, as everyone apart from him right now will get a point if they finish. That should be the main goal. And there is Kismokus off. No, that's again Schumi, sorry. Kismokus is at the back of this battle. And the Ferrari 1-2 is up by 5.6 seconds because Moksha is battling with...
Andy Andre is going to have a look. He sends it up on the inside.
And
very nicely done. Perfectly done. Now he's got the ERS advantage over Dokester, who's on 7% already.
Yeah, he has been eating that battery for breakfast, and Kranker is now under pressure from Moksha into turn 1 maybe? Is there a move on the Williams? No, that is no real attack into the first turn. Very awkward to attack.
We're going to see a double overtake into this DRS coming up. Although the Nocebo managed to pull a little bit of a gap between him and Crankjorg. There is another yellow flag.
It's Kismokus this time, the other Red Bull.
Moksha is making the move down the inside. Very nice racing between the two drivers. That's what we like to see.
Crankjorg came back on the inside.
Try for another one.
And he just gets heavily blocked on the inside. Fair defensive move by Crankjorg, but the gap to the guy ahead is now over a second. And he needs to get that back to not be vulnerable and attackable by the Williams behind in P5. And Moksha is under 2 tenths at the exit. There's the DRS wing open. He is moving to the outside. Can he complete the move? No, Crankjorg goes on the inside, takes a very steep line and moves over the curb, and that allows Moksha to get past into P4, who is now to claw a 1.4 second gap to the next guy ahead, who is currently on the hard tires, and Moksha has already used over 80% of his ERS and needs to recover that, needs to find some rhythm to get back to the Alpine in front of him.
See what I see behind Crankjorg. There is a familiar face trying to make their way back up to the front. Andy Andre has dispatched Dokester and is already on the move, trying to hunt down Crankjorg, which I think he has a good chance of doing.
Another yellow flag in the second sector from Supermax. And to the inside goes Andy and past.
Yeah, he wasn't leaving this. He was using everything that he can to make it pass. He needs to get a move on. There is a huge gap between him and P1, but it's never over until it's over. The safety car, and it can happen anytime.
That is true. The gap has been increased by 7 seconds from Critical, and obviously the battling for Andy did not help. He is up to 19.2 seconds behind the current race leader, who also holds the fastest lap, and is currently at the moment on the verge of clinching that infamous world title, as Moksha is into the DRS zone of Nocebo, and this train is gonna pull up now with Andy in the middle, and Crankjorg just hit the outside wall there of 15. And Andy is also in the DRS detection behind Moksha. So this train of 3 cars is up now. Moksha maybe into the first turn. He goes to the inside. He leaves space, but he is far enough ahead. And Andy moves past Nocebo.
2 places.
He has been caught napping by the Mercedes driver, who is now on the attack of Moksha, who just have been promoted to P3 after moving past the Alpine into turn 1. Andy is not gonna leave this unchanged, and he is moved into P3 now by an overtake into turn 7.
Now let's see if he has anything else left in the tank.
As
to try
Yaktu.
to get behind and try to catch up with the Ferraris on the front. But
Yeah.
Nocibo makes a move to P4.
Yaktu has just caused a brief yellow flag. And Critical has now passed Shumi on lap 6 to lap him. And is only a couple of seconds behind Syatku to do that as well. No, he has lapped Kismukus just right now. So the other Red Bull has already been lapped by the Ferrari, who is currently in P1. And the Haas will follow suit soon. As we continue.
I love the racing in the midfield. It's very exciting. They're very closely meshed. We can't forget that Krenkorg is on the soft compound tire, so he's gonna have to go soon.
Yes, the soft don't really work that long, but
Well, I've seen a prediction of the pit strategies, and one stop would be a shimmy formula
safety
with tires,
car.
and there is a safety car.
There's the safety car you've been talking about, and Andy is back into the race now. What's
Exactly. Now everybody's got a chance to calm down, get on a new set of tires, and start again, basically, from lap 7. A little bit less fuel, a little bit more aggression maybe from the drivers. Definitely more good racing.
Do you know if there's any rain on the forecast?
Apparently it's not.
Okay.
So we have no rain. It's a bit cloudy, but
yeah. What can you tell from these angles and the night sky? So as for strategies, I think the hard tire is too early to put on for the rest of the race. You will be probably have them dead by the end of lap 25, and that is just 6 laps short of the whole race distance we have to go, even with the safety car. So Kovatska.
Let's see if the first person pits.
Kovatska, for my opinion, is Critical is into the pits. Kovatska, in my opinion, is the guy with the best opportunity because he can do a double medium now and finish the race on the best tires. And has probably the best pace. Critical goes to the hard, expectedly. But he will have to pit again.
Lambo stays on the medium, so he's definitely going to have to pit again. Let's see as Kovačka comes in, and he goes on the medium as well.
That is a good
I think
shout.
he started on the medium.
No, he started on the hard.
Oh no, he started on the hard.
He can do a double medium to the end and is in prime position if the pace is correct to...
Maybe even a soft if he manages to look after his tires. There could be a little bit of help. The two Ferraris could work together to make sure that Andy Andre has a very hard time trying to overtake them.
Yeah.
On track.
If Critical feels particularly lucky, he can also initiate a swap, make Kovatska run a DRS train from P1 to P3 because Andy probably can't overtake Critical on the same tire if he has DRS. But if Critical's pace and the warm-up is good, he obviously can, as we have seen in previous races, pull ahead, even on the harder tire. But that is
I'm not sure if he can overtake Kovačka that easily as well. Not because of the pace difference, because let's be honest, Andy is a little bit faster, as you can see from the standings and everything. But Singapore is a very, very difficult track to overtake. You need probably about a second and a half, maybe 2 seconds difference. So you are able to overtake the car, because you can try, but as Cranky shown it earlier, if you place your car into the right positions, it is very, very difficult to get around someone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is, like, if they will want to work together and keep that DRS to the second car and Critical not pulling away this time, they can protect the 1-2 here because there's no way. And he has to use a lot of ERS to even get closely or in a remote position to make a move there, and then there's always an overtaking opportunity for Kovačka as it's just better traction on those tires when the safety car pulls in. So he needs to make sure that if the restart goes by plan, and that with that I mean there's no pile up, there's no collision, there's no going too early or too late for both of the Ferraris, then Andy has to really invest into making an early move. And without the DRS, it's going to be hard. And he needs some sort of optimistic opportunity, maybe, into a extraordinary position on the track. But if the DRS is there, the straights are not long enough to outpace someone who is already in the DRS zone of another car. So that would be interesting to see what Ferrari chooses to do. They, as we have discussed earlier, already clinched the drivers at the constructors championship title against Mercedes, who are once again only with one
but we
car.
don't talk about that just yet. We keep that quiet for a bit.
Ziatko is back into the pits after 7 laps of mediums. There's a change of plans.
Yeah, he pitted early. He pitted on lap 2, I think.
Soft?
For a new wing.
Why soft now?
Maybe he's trying to make a lot of positions in the beginning, and then after maybe he can go onto the hard tire and try to undercut the rest of the drivers.
That is an opportunity, a chance.
I mean, this is a pretty bad time for a safety car because, as you said, the hards won't make it until the end. So you have two choices. You either go hard now and try to make positions now and make up some time and go for a softer tire compound, or as I'm pretty sure critical damage and Andy Andre shows on the front, you can go on a hard tire and then maybe later on, when the car is light, you can put on the soft tires and just put in a 6 or 7 quali laps on the end.
Yeah, that is true.
So there's two different strategies that we can go with this. So yeah, interested to see. And also, there could be another safety car. At the end of the day, this is Singapore. Not much runoff area. The walls are really close. It's easy to make a mistake.
Yeah, that's correct. And we've already seen plenty of the back markers going wide and deep into the runoff areas there. I'm just trying to put a spotlight here also on No Sable, who has started on the hards as well and is probably onto a double medium as well. Crank York started on the softs, could be doing a double medium here as well. Prime positions for these guys. Moksha is kind of on the same strategy as Giattu, but he needs to make sure he gets those positions from the cars ahead and then pulls away. If he's stuck in the traffic behind any of these two, he won't have the prime position to have gained something before the pit stop for probably a hard tire will happen, or if there's a safety car. Because from this moment in time, you can't go soft to medium. The soft will just die out if you're on them right now. And as you can see, Moksha will have used 3 laps of them. Yes, they are conserved by some margin, but the best part for the soft on this racetrack is if they're below the 6 or the 20% tire usage mark, and that will be somewhat already over the mark for Moksha after 1 or 2 laps under green flag racing. So in terms of the strategy for soft right now, Xiaotu is in a better position. Also, he has some slower drivers on other tires in front of him and could really go for it as we await Supermax to get at the back of the queue, who is also unlapped, as it seems. That is good. So 10 drivers to go.
Yeah, I think nobody's lapped. Everybody sorted themselves out.
As the safety car.
Now the safety car is in.
Will come in at the end of this lap, as every of the 10 cars is in a queue now. Satko just slows it down a bit more at the back to warm the tires. And critical damage is in control of the restart. But he needs to give space to the safety car so it can peel in. And when the safety car is crossed the white line on pit entry, where usually the speed limiter is active, the Ferrari in first.
And he's gone.
And he's gone. he is in control and he has decided to pull the trigger, and his 8-10's ahead of his teammate already. And as we watch onboard from the wheel ring of the leading car, Andy has not had an opportunity as of right now to make a move past this second Ferrari in P2, and he will be looking to get into the rhythm, get used to these tires, and make sure he will finish first at the end of this race.
Moksha's going for a move on Crankyog.
Yes, he is, and he has done it. He's into P5.
Nicely done. He's done it before the corner. Nice move. Let's see if Crankyog has anything to say about that.
Doesn't look like it. There's another yellow
There is a
flag.
safety. There's a yellow flag. Sorry.
Supermax.
A Supermax.
I think my guy has the wrong brake bar setting.
It's very weird to brake on Singapore because you need to be so soft on the brake pedal.
Yeah, but
Kind of like
he locks
Aku.
up in every 90-degree corner, so I think there might be.
Yeah, I am not sure that you're seeing what he's doing.
Oh! There's a mistake from Mercedes Watchers to the outside of 15. There's a drag race down the new. Back straight. Kane de Williams pull ahead of the Alpine. They're closely matched. He brakes later than his opponent and he moves into P4 and has made good use of the soft tire within the first lap of the restart. What a nice move from Moksha. He is now your new P4.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get away from the Alpine driver and try to pull a gap. He's got 2 laps, I think, before the DRS gets enabled.
Yeah,
so let's see what he can do with the soft tires. He's gonna need to drive everything out of it.
Doxaman has just received the first 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings in terms of the track limits on lap 12. That is not too bad for the whole field.
Yekto's getting really close to Kismokus.
Yeah, you can watch.
P8.
You can watch that. I will be looking to see what
Andy
can do.
Andy's getting close as well.
Yeah. Moksha already out.
Kismokus made a mistake, gone a bit too deep. Yekto made the overtake on the outside. It's very, very good driving from these 2 drivers. It's very narrow. The Red Bull driver thought about putting it back into the hairpin, but it would have been too dangerous. I think Yekto managed to secure that position. P8. So looking forward.
Oh, and Gizmo spun.
Yeah. A bit too eager to keep up with the house driver. As DRS gets enabled, that's bad news for Kovachka at P2.
Yes, Andy is
because
at the back.
Andy is going to be all over his back.
There's a ERS advantage for the Mercedes in P3 by over 20% of the battery charge, more than the guy in front, and he will be trying to get an overtake done into turn number 7. He moves to the inside now, pulls out of the slipstream, is in front of the Ferrari at the apex, and is now your new P2 after a very difficult race start and a safety car that has just been clutch trim for now, but he still needs to make up 3.8 seconds to a guy who has 100% ERS charge and who's cruising at the front and still pulling the gap on to the guys behind.
I think sometimes the challenge is if you manage to pull a gap like this is to try to stay awake until the end of the race. It's quite easy to make a mistake. You get a bit sleepy.
I can tell you from experience that happened to me in all assists of once.
Oh, it's horrible when you make a mistake on your own. The stock is there, is getting closer to Crankyog.
Yeah, that's true. But he's on 10% ERS. That's gonna be tricky. Oh.
Cranker gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So that balanced itself out.
Yes. And if Dokshima finishes the race tonight, that will be one of the first point scoring finishes for Aston Martin as he moves to the inside now. He's on the attack. 4P6 has completed the overtake by his full car length before the apex of turn number 9. At turn number 8 and then number 9 obviously, and he is now into P6 and is probably trying to get back into the rhythm to make his hards work as soon as possible, so there's no re-passing opportunity for Krankjorg. And Siatko is also at the back of this duo now, so it's a slight...
I have a feeling those soft tires are going to start to go off soon.
Yes, Moksha will be looking in his rear his wing mirror sooner than later.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
let's see if Krankjorg can pull up with the pressure that is put onto him by the Haas. As we watch from the rear wing of the AlphaTauri, who is also in the DRS window of the car in front. Sakto also needs to make sure he stays away from exceeding the track limits and maximizing those exits to get a chance.
Now this is going to be a bit difficult for Krankjorg because he has to go for a move to defend from Ziekto.
And
it would have been nice to keep the Aston Martin in front of him so he gets the continuous DRS, as that was a nice little aid for the defense. But Ziekto didn't manage to make the corner, as there is a yellow flag.
Again.
It was for Supermax.
Who's about to pass Kismakos, who's into the pits and onto the hards.
I think it's for his last pit stop if everything goes alright, as we reach the halfway mark for the race.
Yes. By data, the hard should go 18 laps, and on optimal race pace with a medium to hard, it is 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just raced in Singapore on Friday in my own league, and if everything goes to plan, then there's a win for me in there. So
There's another penalty for multiple warnings.
yes.
This time, Supermax received it.
Siatko is pushing more pressure onto the Aston Martin. Is he going for a move on the inside of turn 1? Yes! But he's a bit deep. Runs over the curb. Close to contact there on the inside. Nearly chopped off the front wing.
It's just not over.
Yeah, there's probably a DRS repass from the Aston Martin. Because
He hasn't got ERS. He's not saving his ERS.
he's
gonna make it extra difficult for himself.
Oh, Kismakos has left.
Kismakos has left the session.
Please re-invite. I'm surprised Nosibo hasn't clawed back the gap to Moksha. It has actually been increased by 7/10 over the last 2 to 3 laps. So Moksha is handling that soft quite well at the moment.
Yeah, I think the tires are just about to balance out.
Yeah, should be on the crossover.
Or maybe the medium is a little bit better now. I think the soft would have reached that 23-26%.
Yeah, but
the drop off.
Yeah, it should be now with 8 laps. We have a close eye on that, as Yatko is now trying to...
Yatko managed to go into the DRS.
Oh, Trankirk is pitting already from the mediums. Oh yes, has he front wing damage? Let's look at that, as there's no real action going on. Car number 8 in P8 is coming in with his 8-lap-old hard tires. Yes, the front Wing implate on the left hand side is missing, and he goes to another set of mediums, which is possible to complete the race on, but is very hard, and he needs to manage those.
He also needs to put his foot down.
Oh! Don't overdo it.
And make the gap disappear. Well, most of the racing has been brought to you today by the midfield.
That is correct. Yeah, I'm surprised that I was thinking about just now how Dr. Man 7th might be on maybe the automatic AI setting. Maybe the game is deciding what he's doing because
He can't be. Everything is turned off. Everything is turned off.
everything is turned off. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and he goes deep.
Yeah.
He goes deep into 50.
As you can see, there is no ABS.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful under braking. There is
Okay.
no traction control, and it's quite a lot of horsepower to try to deal with. So it's
true.
not easy what these guys are doing.
No, by any means. And there's another pit stop for AlphaTauri just now. Just looking at the gap for the leader, and if Critical, who is probably gonna come in again during this race, he will be coming out in P5 between Nocibo and Xiak2. And it's probably gonna be on one of the fastest tires. He is currently also the holder of the fastest lap with a 32.7, and the next guy behind that is on a 33.4, and that is Andy. And we have only a couple of position changes. Nocturman has moved up 3 places during the course of this race. Supermax down by 2. Crankyork and Moksha moved down by 1. And Kovaska has improved by 1. 1 stop for everyone. For everyone apart from Zyatko, Crankyork, Kismukus and Supermax. They have been already completing 2 stops. Did the Discord just die?
I was just checking. As things stand, if the race would be finished now, that means Critical Damage is comfortably won the championship. But the race for P2 is still open. If Nordic is turning up for the last 2 races, he could give a little bit of a headache to Andy.
Yes.
But let's hope that Andy can make it a little bit more spicy and just take away this win from Critical, as he had quite enough over the season.
Yeah,
he has done brilliantly this season. I think last season he was on it. He could have got it, but he's definitely got a little bit more fire in him. And he's showing Ninja that it's not as easy as you think. You need to keep turning up, you need to keep putting in the practice, the race. You need to focus over a whole season if you want to achieve something. As Critical shows. Laser focus every race. I'm very proud of him, I have to say. He's done very good. And so did Andy.
Moksha's into the pits, by the way. As is Kovaska, surprisingly. So an early stop for the Ferrari, who's put on the medium tires at the end of the phase where the pit stops opened under the safety car, and there's a new mediums for 11 laps for the Ferrari.
Maybe he's trying to go for an undercut.
Yeah, looks like
hoping that he will come out in front of Andy.
And Moksha's onto the mediums as well, and is trying to complete the race on them with 11 laps to go. And Dogshima also into the pits. And Zyaktu as well. So everyone
Everyone,
has pitted now, all of them.
apart from the first two drivers.
So Nosibu needs to make sure he's
And
pitting in as
Nosibu.
well. He needs to pit now because he's under risk of losing more time to Moksha, who was already in front by 3 seconds. And had the older soft tires on his car. Would like to see him use more of the ice he has saved so far on the last bit and then pull into the pits. Don't extend to the soft tire, because he could be under risk from the drivers who have also pitted, even though Zyatko is 15 seconds behind P5. If you can lose so much time if you extend the tires too long. The softs aren't really that great for the remaining 8 laps.
There is a yellow flag.
Yeah, that is. That was for Supermax once again. Nosiba decided to stay out.
Would you believe the Aston Martin driver is still under 10% DRS?
I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked, to be honest.
I think this has been the whole race.
Yeah, maybe
He's going for some sort of a record.
Maybe he has a chronic depletion in his left thumb or whatever he's pressing.
Maybe the ERS is connected to his throttle.
Yeah.
It's on off.
Imagine. Imagine that for Monza.
Oh.
You just drain the battery on a first straight.
See, but this is the thing in Singapore. It's quite difficult to recharge your battery anyway. So you need to be sure that you're not pushing the button, because you do it unconsciously, really. There's been many times where I had to save ERS and I knew I had to do it. And I just catch myself pushing it all the time. Coming out of a corner, it's just nice to have a little bit of extra boost if it's a long straight. As the Aston Martin driver nearly hits the wall.
Yeah, that is correct. There have been some tough tracks in terms of DRS management for these drivers. Miami is in my personal opinion, one of the worst to manage DRS, and Nosibu just decides to come into the pits now.
Let's see where he comes out.
He hasn't done one of the fastest in laps and also cut a bit of the white line on the entry. And Moksha will be moving past him comfortably.
There goes the Ferrari.
And he goes on to softs. He extended to the softs. And Zyatko is probably pulling into the under 10-second window.
The yellow flag again.
Just because. Who has just been lapped by Critical.
Zyakto is getting really close.
Yeah.
How long does it take to get out of the pit?
24 at least, I would say. That's the thing, like, Zed get an undercut of 2 seconds. Obviously, you know, Saber's on a better tire, but he has not done
even
like
facing the wrong way.
Yeah, that's
again.
True. There's nothing Nosibu will gain from this. He only has a good tire to defend himself now, but he could have been on the attack. But he didn't use any of his battery charge. He's on 90% on his outlap. He should use some at the start of next lap to try to put in some sort of effort to make sure he gets move on. Because if people in the front make mistakes, he's not even in the position to recapitalize off of anyone other than Moksha. Maybe Kovacs.
It's gonna be deep.
Moksha is
let's keep an eye on
close.
the gap between Moksha and Kovacka. 3 seconds at the moment.
Yeah, you can maybe watch the Aston Martin to see if we can make a move soon on the AlphaTauri. He's close within the 1 second at the detection point at the end of this lap. Yeah, Moksha has to fight through 30% of ERS. Kovetska is only on 30, but that's still an advantage, as the gap at the front is currently stopped by 5.5 seconds.
Particularly still awake.
I hope
98% ERS. It's disgusting.
I'm certain, and I stand corrected if anything else happens, but I'm certain that at this point, with 7 laps to go, none of the top 2 will pit now, because the point of no return has been passed now. The latest lap to pit was at the end of last lap.
And you could go for a soft in the end to spice things up, get the extra point.
Yeah, that is true.
Because he's still fighting with Ninja.
That is true. He could do that, but and he is probably one of the favorites to take the fastest lap away from.
Yeah, it's 28 seconds back to the second Ferrari, so it is possible to pit and not lose a position.
Moksha has moved the gap down to 2 seconds now and is onto the attack of taking his 4th podium in 7 races and moving Williams up even further in the standings. He has been on a fantastic run, and with your disappearance, he is one of the guys to be in a prime position to capitalize of any mistakes or just have a good race, because we have seen that battle with you and Kovetska in China, and it has been for the last podium position. Yeah, there was only 2 to see in that broadcast, but the Williams is onto something here, and he is doing this with great consistency and will, and the strategy currently has paid off so far.
Aston Martin has got really close to Crankjog in the AlphaTauri, but I don't think he's gonna have the speed in the straights to overtake him, even with the DRS, because without DRS, if you are below 10%, you do lose some of the engine power as well.
Yes.
He's getting really close.
Yeah, some drivers need to learn how to make a setup maybe and stay on the track. Some need to learn ES management, so everyone is for good learning opportunity.
Oh,
Supermax to try, and there's a safety car! There's the late safety car! Critical was not hoping for, and Andy is back into the win. He could be going for that elusive win tonight, who he has probably not dreamed of, as Nosibo pulled back into the pits.
That is a great time for him.
Yeah,
but it was very bad timing for Crankjog, as just as the safety car came out, he got hit from behind by the Aston Martin driver, making him spin around and lose the position. But he can have revenge now. After the safety car. We're gonna have a sprint race this evening at Singapore.
We will have a sprint.
But I think this race needed it. Everybody was kind of far away. This might just bring the excitement back into the championship. If Andy Andre can do something, anything, to dispatch Critical from P1 and keep that position for himself, he's still got a mathematical chance of taking the championship away from Critical.
Oh, there's a 5-second time for crossing the pit lane exit line for the Aston Martin. That is unusual. Haven't seen that in a while.
I expected everybody's putting on fresh soft tires to go on to the end.
Yeah, Setko has decided to stay out. He's on 1 lap old softs. As both Kovetska and Moksha now move into the pit lane as well. There's only Gizmokus who has been lapped and is also been recollected by the safety car already in physical P3. Will now help the 2 guys in front probably create an even bigger gap early on at the safety car reset. But you have to think about There are huge gaps now for the drivers to catch up. Like, in numbers, there's a 2-minute gap from P1 to P8.
Yeah, that will all depend on the game. If the game lets them drive their own pace to try to catch up, it is possible. But
that should
if
be
the
the
game gives
case
them
now.
delta,
Should be the case
sometimes
now.
the game gives delta even when it's not supposed to and slows the cars down for no reason. But yeah, we'll see.
The
3
usual
laps behind the safety car.
Yeah,
That's what we're gonna have maximum.
Yeah, that's probably the case. Usually, the ruling that should be enforced is that the safety car needs to collect the leader, and after that, the data is removed, and it only comes back if the leader is not close enough to the safety car. And we need a lot of drivers to speed the hell up to make sure we have at least some more laps of racing.
I think we're gonna have about 3 laps.
Yeah, the latest the safety car will come in is at the end of lap 29. But as
that means there will be no DRS, so
Yes.
everybody's gonna have to do whatever they can on their own. There is no aid for anyone.
And Andy will be praying that this won't not happen to him, and that he's on the last lap with DRS activated and moves past critical into P1 into turn 7, or maybe even later. But he needs to make sure that the senses are sharpened to be ready when the Ferrari ahead pulls the trigger, because if he gets a gap that is larger than 8 seconds, I don't think Critical is in any danger by Andy, because we have seen how much Critical has been saving. He is hiding his true pace throughout the race. He has put in a stellar performance in qualifying by over 1.2 seconds, and there's a attempt of Kismakus.
I think he overtook the safety car.
He's probably gonna get
disqualified. No, unless he overtook one of the drivers as well, he won't get disqualified.
Yeah, he was in physical P3, so if no one of them moved past the white lines,
yeah, but he would have been disqualified by now. So I think maybe they let him go, as they should.
Yeah, fortunately,
give the man a chance to try to unlap himself.
Unlapping should come back into the game. It's really.
This is sort of so many things they should have done, rather than a shitty HUD. And don't get me started. I think we're gonna have the safety car will be in at the end of this lap.
Very likely
that they're not gonna wait for the Red Bull.
Cranky and Doxman should move the proximity.
Somehow Crankyog made back the position.
Yeah, maybe you let him pass.
He nearly lost from Dockester. He sent it in a bit deep.
There might be a late call. Might be a late call for the safety car now. Let's see. Nope, it is not. One more lap. We are getting one more lap of the safety car. So there will be DRS for Andy to use.
Unless Andy can make a move in the first half after the safety car restart. He's got probably half a lap. If he can't do it by then, I don't think he's got the chance. He's got the pace today to catch up with Critical. But the last place on the podium, as it stands, there will be a fight for that. I'm 100% sure, and it's gonna be maybe a 4 or 5 man fight, because Kovachka and Moksha has pretty similar pace on this track. Now they had practice. Now they're in the groove. No Sabo has done a very good race today. So did Yakto and Crankyorg. So P3, P4 could be anyone's.
Yeah, although you have to keep in mind that there's a 3-second time penalty for any of the last two drivers. Oh no, there's even 8 for Dogshaman because of
Yeah,
the 5 seconds.
it's a lot for those two.
And Kismukus has a 5 second as well. Yeah, I think that's quite a good shout from you. Although I think No 7 needs to make sure he's doing the opposite of the Aston Martin. What is happening tonight? Less ES usage for the Aston Martin, and a bit more from the Alpine, because they've been on quite the opposite ends, and obviously Critical has apparently unbinded the button because he has not used it. And there's the call for the safety car.
The safety car is in.
And we will have DRS on the final lap of this race. And there will
Let's see the different strategies. Are they going to use everything in the beginning, or are they going to try to balance it out over 3-4 laps? Maybe even save all the ERS and just try to deploy it in the last lap.
There's not a real good opportunity into turn 1, so they need to make sure the exits of turn 5 and 3 are the best they can get on this race. And then they will have an opportunity to maybe use a lot of the battery and make a move past. And there's been pulled the trigger by Critical, who has already a 6/10 gap, now 7 to the guy behind. And we need to make sure, or Andy needs to make sure he's still within that 1 second gap at the end of lap 30. Maybe at the start of 31, depending on when it gets released. Probably start. Gizmokus has a time penalty now. And Andy has pulled under half a second behind.
This is nearly a second away from Kovac already. He's really trying. Although he hasn't used much ERS.
Turn 7 to 9 were by far better executed by Critical. And the gap has been increased to 8/10 now. And it seems that the overall setup choices for Critical regarding the cornering and the acceleration
and he
are
definitely
better.
had a better exit out of the last corner.
Yeah,
he's really trying to stay within 1 second.
We can see
to
that.
give him a chance in the last lap.
He has some work to do though. When I watch...
Moksha's getting really close.
Yeah, keep an eye on that please. There's a new fastest lap from the race leader. And there's a gap of over a second now by Critical.
And Nocibo has got 3-second penalty for multiple.
Yeah, and that is probably also his P5 gone.
Oh, that takes him out of this race. For P5.
There's an ERS advantage for Critical, as he had just entered the second sector for the penultimate time in this race. He is 1.5 laps away from being crowned the world champion. He has put a lot of pressure on Andy, and Andy has cracked so far. Whatever his setup choices or driving, the rhythm Critical has shown Andy cannot match it, and he is out of the contention at the moment. And he's on fewer resources than the Ferrari in P1 at the moment. Other than that, nothing has really changed inside the field. There's only a gap forming behind.
Kovac managed to put just a second gap between himself and Moksha. But Moksha has got a little bit more ERS to play with.
Another fastest lap from Critical, 30.2 as he enters the final race lap.
1 second again.
And Andy has pulled something back here. But
hey, look at that. Critical's got 30% ERS. He's actually using.
Yeah, but Andy is on 8% and he's almost a second behind.
Yeah.
That is going to be very difficult for the Mercedes.
Let's see if Moksha can get any closer to Kovachka at the end of the DRS. Not really.
Oh, 3-second time penalty!
No!
And there's Moksha to the podium now!
That is the podium gone. And that is another podium for Moksha, if he manages to keep it within the lines.
He needs to calm down now and keep the car on the back stuff.
Just needs to bring it home. Take some points away from Kovachka, so he cannot overtake me in the standings.
Is that an official instruction now? Okay.
Yes, push him into the wall.
Kovachka just moved onto the final straight of this race. He has been pinpoint perfect. No way a safety car could stop him from crowning himself the world champion tonight. He is 2 corners away from clinching the title in Singapore. It has been a constructor championship for him last time. It's the World Drivers' Championship for him this time! Critical Damage is your Sim Racing Heat champion in Season 4 for NSA Pro! Congratulations to Andy and Moksha, who take the final 2 steps on the podium. And there's been a fantastic effort from Critical Damage. Andy couldn't deny him. He has put every inch of this racetrack perfect tonight. And he is your new world champion. Congratulations, Critical Damage.
It was a beautiful race from beginning to the end. He managed he just managed his pace, managed the tires, he managed everything all the time. There was no question about this really. That Critical Damage will win this race. Andy Andre has had a very unlucky race start, and he dropped into nearly at the back of the field. So to come back P2, it is a very nice effort, and he's still in contention for the 2nd place in the championship. Moksha picks up another podium, which is, I think, is his 4th.
Yes, 4th in 7 races.
So yeah, great racing. Kovachka very unlucky in the last lap to get the 3-second penalty. Ziakto also did a very good race. The Nosibo, again, that penalty just so unnecessary, and they killed all his race. But yeah, P6 Nosibo, P7 Crank York, P8 the new guy Dockester. Very good race. Maybe a little bit more management of the ERS, but
a little bit, yes.
great racing, guys. Well done for everyone. Andy Andre gets the driver of the day, according to the game.
Yeah.
Which I think he deserves. Critical, yes, he's done it, but it's boring, you know. Nobody cares. Critical.
I also think usually the game hands it out to the guy with the most position gains, and with that result, most of the drivers only have one position maybe, and Andy, yeah, held that P2.
Yeah, you had to fight through.
Yeah, so I forgot to turn on the particles again. There's only spraying of air.
Nothing.
Yeah, spray of air. David Tunica is on the top side of the podium. Yeah, as you can see, Dr. Man moved 2 places up. That is all she wrote, basically. That was very close on the fastest lap from Andy Andre. Only a couple of thousands behind our new world champion. And this has been a Romanian 1-2 once again. It has been the same podium as Miami last time out. So that has been a great effort from everyone at the front. And yeah, Red Bull might be looking at who to replace with another AlphaTauri driver, as their performance hasn't been anything to be proud of tonight. But I'm sure they will come back and have another go at it next time, which is, aim me on that. What is the next track?
Imola.
Imola.
We are following the real calendar. So Imola is next.
That's why Monaco is the last race. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We should get some driver interviews.
Yeah, I am just writing to them.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, it's all.
Just gonna put this for a quick break. Okay, let's go ahead then. We are back after a short break. We will be continuing with the drivers' interviews, and we welcome our new World Championship driver. He has been on a particular good run tonight. You can say he has been invincible. Critical damage. How do you sum up this race from your perspective? How was it out there for you tonight?
Well, it was quite a boring race for a large part of it. I think after the start there were some incidents behind, and at some point I thought that maybe we will get the first 1-2 for Ferrari, but yeah, then the safety car appeared and changed everything. And I also think that after the first safety car, Andy was a little bit stuck behind my teammates. So by the time he got past, he was 4 seconds behind or something like that. So yeah, it would have been interesting to see how close the fight for the win would have been. But I think we got that in the last 3 laps. But without the DRS, it's impossible to overtake here.
Yeah, that is correct. The last safety car turned this race into a sprint. You were quite comfortable leading at the most part of the race. There was a time where you had your battery fully charged. Were you cruising out there?
Yeah, you could say that. I only touched the overtake button after the last safety car in the last 3 laps because I wanted to make sure that Andy will not have DRS in the last lap to not create some drama. But other than that, yeah, it was quite a relaxing drive.
Yeah, there was some early rain in the session in qualifying, and you were out on the track very soon, and you put in the fastest time, and no one could beat that after that. Was there an indication early on that you need to go out soon, because some drivers didn't even bother to do a lap time here? So, what was your thought process when you look at the weather?
Well, to be honest, I had no idea it was raining. I got lucky because my fiance was watching the race and she told me that there seems to be some drops of rain. And then I checked and I saw that okay, no, it's time to go because it looked like in 2 or 3 minutes the rain will get heavier and heavier. So yeah, it was basically a one-shot qualifying.
I can't stop smiling from your interview tonight. Let's focus on the most important part. You have just clinched your first driver's title, if I'm not mistaken, after constructor's title last time in season 3. You are now the new reigning world champion. How does it feel?
Well, it feels great. It has been a long season, the longest season I've ever done on any Formula One game. So I'm quite tired actually. A break would do just fine. But yeah, it feels very nice. It was quite a big battle with Ninja for the most part. But yeah, I'm quite relieved now, and I'm actually proud that when Ninja will win PSGL, WOR or whatever in a few years' time, I will always be able to remind him that at some point an old guy beat him. So yeah, that's the greatest achievement.
Make sure you take all the screenshots. So yeah, proof.
we have it on video. Yeah, don't skip this part.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, man.
You have clinched the Constructors' Championship last time out in Miami. I didn't do the math correctly, so sorry I didn't show you earlier. What is the run plan for Imola and Monaco? Do you just have another chill out race, or do you just skip the last two? What is your plan for the future?
No, I can say 100% that I will join the races now. My my schedule is quite clear, and no, I'll just treat the races as any other race in the season. I just enjoy the competitiveness at the front, especially with Andrei. So yeah, I'll just go for the win and hope that Monaco will produce a great race.
Okay, then thank you very much for your insights. Congratulations again on clinching the World Drivers' Championship title tonight, and I hope to see you next time.
Thanks a lot.
Let's move on to Andy Andre, who has finished, just like last time in Miami, on the second step of the podium. Andy, how was the race for you tonight?
Well, it was pretty much as Critical said. Pretty much what I was expecting before the start. I knew he'd be a lot faster, so there wasn't much point pushing too hard at the beginning. Congrats to him, by the way, for the win and also for the championship. And I don't know what should I add? I made a mistake in the first few laps. I think it was even in the first lap. I got bumped back to P8, and it was a bit of a fight to get back at the front. But I managed it without any incident, and the safety car really helped to close the gap to Kovachka and secure P2. So that was pretty much it.
There was a lot of talk from us commentators about the strategy when we looked at the first safety car. We initially thought, and so was probably Kovalska in a prime position, that there was a good chance to do a fast double medium after you started on any other tire, obviously, than the medium. You, together with Critical, were on the hards after the first safety car, and before the last came out, you were, in my opinion, already past the point of no return. So you were committed to bringing that hard to the end. How bad was it out there? How much percentage do you have on the tires? How were they feeling for you?
The tire wasn't pretty bad. If the last safety car wouldn't have come out, I think I would have been safe to pit again for the softs to attempt the fastest lap at the end. I just about had the gap to about 28 seconds to Kovachka. He was a bit faster at that point. The mediums were pretty bad, but nothing too worrying. I think I would have got it covered.
Okay.
But the safety car came earlier, and so everyone went for the soft, and there wasn't any point to it.
Yeah, that is true. Unfortunately, the driver's crown is now being handed out to Critical. There has been some sort of a fight brewing up inside. You have gained now a significant advantage over Nordic, who is fast, we have to admit, but there are only 2 races left. Do you expect him to beat you to P2 in the Drivers' Championship, or do you think Imola and Monaco will suit you and your driving style to keep that as it is right now?
Well, this race changed a lot in that respect. I was pretty much content with the idea that I'll be finishing in P3. I didn't give much thought, and I didn't practice too much for the last 2 or 3 races. I just took them as they went. But now, yes, as you said, I'm in a good position for P2, so maybe I'll pay more attention to the last 2 ones, and hopefully I'll get a good result.
Yes, you should do that. Thank you very much for your insights for this interview, and I hope to see you in Imola in 7 days' time. Have a good night.
Okay. Good night. Thank you for the work. Bye.
Good night. Let's move on to our P3, and again, an outstanding performance from the Williams driver. Moksha is, as we had in Miami, back again on the podium for P3. How are you feeling after this race, and how were your nerves before Kovatska hit that 3-second time penalty on the last lap?
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't expect to get the P3. Kovatska was faster. There was a time on the mediums where I thought I can get in his DRS window. Then the safety car came out and the whole pit stop made it a sprint race. I had a good start. Unfortunately, I had a big mistake in the first lap, which put me quite far back. I need to fight to get in the front again. Yeah, on the safety car, I made it to the soft because I wanted to go on two-stopper. I thought it could work. The lap was ideal for that. And actually, Kovatska and me went in the pits the same lap after that. So, yeah, I had a good fight with Kovatska. He was ahead. He would have earned this third place, but yeah, track limits are track limits. So, unfortunately for him, good for me.
Yeah, that is true. You have to keep within the white lines. We've discussed it multiple times. That is now your 4th podium in 7 of the last races you have intended. Is that something of a personal target you wanted to achieve, or did you already overachieve this season with that 4th podium now?
Yeah, I mean, if everyone's racing like Fellowson or Nordic Ninja, the third place is far away from what I can get actually. But yeah, they didn't race, and good for me. Good that Kovatska had a penalty. Yeah, but the third place it's pretty much too high for me for my pace.
Okay, let's look on to next week. We will be racing in Imola. What are your feelings for that track? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What are your expectations?
Yeah, I like Imola pretty much. Not sure if my pace is great, but I like to drive it. Monaco is not my favorite. Pretty weird for the last track for the racing, but yeah, I hope to make it to the finish line just to get some points. I think with P5 with the Williams started in the mid seasons, that's pretty much the maximum I could get, or we could get at the Williams. And also my position in the championship also the maximum I could get, and I achieved it.
Yeah, that is correct. There was some tough patches, but I think you can build on that, what you have achieved so far. So I like to talk to you again next time. Make sure you land on the podium again, so we can have another chat in Imola. But that is it for tonight's drivers interviews. I like to thank Fallison for his co-commentary tonight. Was a pleasure with you. I hope to see you next time if you like, and let's move on to Imola in 7 days' time. If you want to see this race commentated and see all the action we just covered again, make sure to follow this channel. Check out the other videos of this league I've been producing so far, so you don't miss anything of this incredible racing. The championship has been sealed, but the driving action still continues. We move on to Imola in 7 days' time. Make sure to watch the real life one to get maybe some insights on the track this weekend, as we return after a missed Grand Prix last year, and let's see what the new cars can produce there. I'm sure you want to check out what is happening on track in 7 days' time, so make sure you don't miss it. Have a good night. Ta-da.
Thanks, bye.